We can officially see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yesterday, the Trump administration came out. They laid out the guidelines for states being able to let people come out and enjoy the world again. Some of these states are going to be ready to do it now. What are the guidelines? How does it look? Well, first, there needs to be 14 days. 14 days of provable decreasing new daily cases. So you need to be on some sort of trend where it looks like it's getting better in that state. Looks like, people are social distancing and it's having an effect and things are getting better. After that, there are several phases that are all designed to make sure that the spread doesn't continue and that people take appropriate action, and that some people, like older people in nursing homes, wait until there's been significant time that has passed until this, gets under wraps. One of the first phases enables the opening of gyms. And this is an interesting thing that I came across today. So I was talking to some people in Beijing, how things were going down. Yesterday I started a job at a farm stand, and I noticed that people would go out and they would just, when they first got there, their logical mind was taking over, and they were telling their little children, no, don't touch that. You can't touch that. Be safe, whatever. And after about 35 to 10 seconds, their human mind that was happy to be outside and everything and just wanted to be back in reality let go of all that. And they didn't really give a shit. So it seemed to me like the human mind quickly took over. People wake up in the morning and they don't say, I need to worry about coronavirus. No, they want to think about the things that give them happiness and hope and all that kind of stuff. And it's not fear of coronavirus. So that's where the human mind, I believe, will gear itself towards. However, that theory was checked today by some people in Beijing that I talked to that are gym people. And the gyms are the first few things that are going to be open in that phase one after the initial gate of 14 days has been passed. And the guy I was talking to said people are afraid to go to the gyms because social distancing, grabbing the weights, all of this. So the gym involves a little bit more of a logical approach because, there's threat there, grabbing the weight. So there's a guy in Beijing. I don't know him personally. I don't have any eye exposure to that, but that's what I was told. And they've been out of this a little longer than we have. So to hear that, it's a check. It's a check. I'm overall optimistic. I'm overall like what I saw yesterday, but it was a check on reality. Now, another big thing happened. So yesterday, an article was published saying that a Gilead drug called remdesivir, which has been around for a long time, studied at the University of Chicago, might have a positive ability to help people with their coronavirus symptoms and get them over coronavirus. There's another drug that has been, highlighted the same way called hydrochloroquine. So I heard the author of that article speak, and he said there might be he was like, the market's rallying a little too hard, because if you look at the market today, it's rallying very hard. And it happened after that remdesivir announcement. He said it's very preliminary, somewhat evidence on a rather small sample size of people who weren't on ventilators. Now, the drug could have helped them ensure that they didn't get on ventilators, which would be certainly positive. But it's very preliminary. So for the market to be on such a strong rally and then have such a strong day today, now, I'm not saying that the rally can't continue, but on a very preliminary kind of iffy where the author and Gilead are both trying to check that, it can't be just the article. It's got to be more the opening of the economy, which in places like New York is still pretty far off. Obviously our cases are going down. It seems like May 15th might be the day New York enters that phase one, which would be good. But there's still a lot of unknowns, and there's still a lot of economic damage. And if people are still afraid to go to gyms, which are, lots of gyms all over the country, employ a lot of people, pay a lot of taxes, that's concerning. Could spill over into other areas. Now, I only heard about gyms, and restaurants apparently are fine. So, restaurants are probably bigger than gyms in the overall economy. But let's see what happens. That's kind of where we're at right now. I like the idea of trading flat for a little bit. I don't want to keep this rally going. I'm not selling on the rally, but I've got a little bit of cash still. I'm not deploying it right now. I would like to see a little bit of pullback or hear some positive news. Obviously I don't want to be buying on positive news. I don't want to be buying when prices are higher. But all my prices are super low. So if you got your prices super low and you've got a little bit of cash, be patient. Don't hurry into this, because if we open up and if there's another burst of cases, or if people are afraid to go to things like restaurants and gyms, who knows? That could either lead to another pullback, or it could lead to a slowing in the return to economic growth, because the important thing is the underlying economy. The stock market, yes, obviously important, but more important, in my opinion, is the underlying economy. So maybe that takes a little longer than we expect. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it recovers very fast, which I personally am still a believer that we will get back. The end of the tunnel will approach. We will get back to life, and people will be happy to be back to life and return to their norms rather quickly. And it's going to be summer, and there's going to be heat, and people are going to be very happy. But at the same time, I want to check all of that and hedge my optimism with some cash that I can use to pounce on opportunities if I'm not right about that. If I'm not right about we're going to be coming in fast. Right now, I'm kind of looking for reasons why that might not be true. I'm talking to people in China, seeing what they think, and I'm listening to the author of the article of the possible some effect on coronavirus drug. Here he said that the market might have rallied too hard, and he was shocked by that rally. So I'm kind of checking it. And I'm just keeping a little bit of cash, 15%. There's no bad reason to keep 15%. A lot of people like Ray Dalio say cash is trash, but cash has been king recently, if you ask me. Made a lot of money in the past couple weeks because of cash. Because I took money out when the downturn was approaching and had cash, and then I bought. So I want to make sure that I'm not saying that I'm confident in that we've hit the lows. What I'm not confident in is the current rally. We're up over 25, maybe 28, 30% now off the lows. That just to me feels a little too aggressive, considering between the lows and now all that's happened is more job losses. So I do think the lows were a little too low, but I do think the current levels are a little too high. So that's why I'm hoping we trade flat from here, plus minus 5% range. But, I've kind of been saying that for a while. So we're at the top of that 5% range. If we break through that, I'm wrong on the 5% range. So plus minus 5%, so 10% range, but we've only gone up, it seems. So it is what it is. Until tomorrow. Peace.